Well, good afternoon. It is exactly 1 p.m. East African time, a time for Newsdeck. Glad you could join us. My name is Linda Alela, and we start off with more of politics that have played out right here in the country. Realignments within the Jubilee Party continue. This as Kipipiri Member of Parliament Amos Kimunya is the new majority leader. Kimunya has replaced Aden Duale in a Jubilee parliamentary group meeting that was held this morning. Eldest Member of Parliament Aden Kainan has also been appointed as the Jubilee Coalition Secretary General, replacing Kimunya, who had been appointed recently. Now, the PG at KICC was led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the party leader, and was attended by his deputy William Ruto. President Kenyatta says the more communications will be communicated later.
It was graced by our party leader, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Deputy Party Leader, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, and good attendance. I think the last count was 150 plus before final records. Of course, the number of details will be released later. And the main outcome of the meeting was the change in leadership of the party. And I really want to thank His Excellency the President as a party leader for proposing me to take over as the new leader of the majority party in Parliament. And it's a humbling situation because, it's the confidence is shown for me to take on the leadership of the party in the Parliament in the next 2 years as we move towards the changeover. And want to also congratulate my colleague, Honorable Aden Kainan, who now takes over the position I had been given just 2 weeks ago as the Joint Secretary to the Joint Parliamentary Group of both the Senate and the National Assembly. I did half the notes. He will complete the other half. And then we work together. And obviously with the other changes that were made that you already reported on. So I don't take this appointment lightly. It's a great honor to me. It's I can only promise to do my best to serve not just the party, but also our country, and as we get into the issues that need to be addressed. I also want to underscore and really appreciate the dedicated service that the Honorable Duale has rendered to this country in the last 8 years. I've been in that position before as Deputy Leader of Government Business in the 11th Parliament, in the 10th Parliament, and I know what it means to be in the House every day. I've spent a lot of time with Honorable Duale in the leadership of the House, serving together in the House Business Committee, and I know his commitment. And so it needs to go on record, and I think also the President did say the same. And we know he's still a big asset to this country. And we will continue using his expertise and his experience, harnessing the synergies of the diversity of our thoughts and ideas for the greater good of this country. I also want to really thank the membership I know calling a meeting on a Monday morning when people are coming from the constituencies, people traveled that night to be here to show the support to His Excellency the President and the Deputy President and the party leadership that when we accord, we're there. And I believe that's the new unity that we've all been working for as we forge forward for the purposes of achieving the greater good in terms of the promises and the pledges we made to the Kenyan people. So let me leave it at that. Our formal statement obviously will be coming, but as of now, I just want to really thank His Excellency the President for the confidence he's shown in myself and in my...
And our reporter Elizabeth Mutuko has been following the PG at KICC and now joins us live from Parliament buildings to give us the mood in Parliament. Elizabeth.
Good afternoon. That is what has just happened over and in the Jubilee. More members being punched out, and now the shift goes to the committees, where, according to Kimunya, it will be happening on Thursday, and on Thursday there will be back to you in the studio. Kindly, I'll be back because of some reasons.
Okay, it is fine, Elizabeth. We'll be coming back to you later to get to know what exactly is happening. And now let's cross over to some bit of matters education. The Ministry of Education has started engaging textile manufacturers to produce 22 million masks for learning institutions by August, ahead of the reopening of schools in September. Education CS Professor George Magoha says the ministry is keen on ensuring school-going children are protected from the COVID-19 pandemic. CS Magoha has, however, contested the recently published figures of girls who have been impregnated during the COVID-19 pandemic period, saying the figures were exaggerated and do not reflect the true picture.
The general concept is that there are several government agencies, which include Rivertex and NYS and perhaps the factory in Kitui, that should be able to do the 22 million masks. And what we want as a government is that the mask that is produced should be able to cover the nose and mouth and should not be harmful to our children. So we have toured the facilities here this morning. We have held discussions with the Rivertex, and these consultations are ongoing. Once we fully agree on the prototype, then we shall get the pricing. We are also still debating as to whether to test all the teachers that are going to go back to schools before they go back to schools. But otherwise, we are on track. And the major bottleneck that we had with regards to opening schools is to be sure that there is transition. And more specifically, transition in the CBC class, which means grade 4 to grade 5. But I want to dare say that the numbers look obnoxious and very high. As a physician, I want to tell you that pregnancies don't show before they are over 3 months. And if we are talking about the time this started, the majority of the pregnancies have not shown. Those who are saying they are pregnant, did the children go to them? Or how did they know? So we are interrogating that actively, not forgetting that I'm a physician, using the medical council and other areas, and we shall give a pronouncement. But even though it is a challenge, I think the figures are completely outrageous, and they should be treated with the contempt that they deserve.
Coffee farmers in Kiambu County have uprooted their coffee, citing low profits from their produce. The farmers expressed their frustrations by banks associated with selling the produce, leading to low profits for them. The farmers are now requesting the government to give individual permits to sell their coffee without the involvement of middlemen, a move seconded by Kiambu Governor James Nyoro.
Ile sababu imetuma niamue kuondoa hii kahawa. Ni sababu hii kahawa hata mtoto haiwezi kapeleka nini, hata hospitali, hata shule. Nimeshindwa kuona maana yake.
Uza factory ijiusie kahawa yake. Hiyo hapo ndio mwisho. Maana we shall be able to market our own coffee na tuone shida zetu kwa karibu. Tungoe kahawa kabisa. Tubande kama avocado, madisi, sukuma wiki, boga, anything.
Tumekasirishwa na payment ambayo tumepata ya kahawa, licha ya kuwa tumeuzua kahawa vizuri na our marketer, Tropical Farm Management. Pesa zilipofika kwa bank, zote zilienda na bank. Na tumechoka na kuchagua kamati baada ya kamati, tukifikiri wao ndio wako na makosa. Wizi wote uko na Cooperative Bank pamoja na DCO. Hawa ndio wanashirikiana kutunyanyasa sisi wakulima. Na sisi tumeamua ni either mtu ajisagie kahawa ama tungoe kama vile
Amos Ndalana has urged area residents to remain vigilant and volunteer information of suspected Al-Shabaab operatives within the MEADS, promising that their identity and information will be treated with utmost confidentiality. Ndalana awarded certificates of commendation to an assistant chief and 7 national police reservists from Dadaab sub-county for killing 2 Al-Shabaab militants in their area on March the 6th.
Ndio mpangewe ile kitu akufanya ya kazi na kidogo ya mama chakula ama chochote.
Abdi Aden Hussein,
wananchi wa hizo areas ambao kuko na hizi Al-Shabaab attacks na sightings za kila siku, wangejitokeza watoe ujumbe kwa serikali, ambao wengine ni NPRs, kwa polisi, kwa machifu na kwa kila mtu ambaye anaweza husika, ndio iwezekane tuweze kupata immediate action. That is the way I can say. Otherwise, without information hatutafanya vile inatakikana kufanyika. Mtu akipeana ujumbe wowote, hiyo ni siri. You don't talk about your source of information. Nimewaeleza hiyo na nafikiria tumekubaliana.
And away from that, residents of Aldina, Mikanjuni area in Jomvu sub-county of Mombasa are now looking forward to a new lease of life after enduring long periods of dilapidated roads. They have now kicked off rehabilitation works with the lead of the Mikindani MCA, Renson Thoya, who said most roads in Mombasa require urgent attention. MCA Thoya applauded the residents for mobilizing themselves and taking the decision to fix roads in their localities, saying the move will end an era of backwardness in the affected communities.
Tumechukua jukumu hilo, tunasema hizi barabara zote ambazo ni feeder road tutazikarabati, tuziweke mara na tuhakikishe kwamba siku za usoni inshallah Mwenyezi Mungu akipenda tukipata pesa za kutosha tuzi upgrade to Cabro standard.
Hivi sasa tumehakikisha tumetenga lori karibu 10 ambaye tumepata tayari, tumeanza kumwaga vile mnaona hapa nyuma yetu, ili tutengeneze barabara ianze kupitika.
Tumeungana na tumeamua tutaweza kutengeneza hii barabara kwa usaidizi wetu ili tukaweze kupata, ili sababu sisi ndio tunaitumia, tutangangana na tutaitengeza ili hata viongozi wetu wenye hawapatikani kwa saa hii wajue sisi umoja wetu na kupitia usaidizi wa Mheshimiwa Thoya na wakaaji wa Aldina tutaweza kupitia nguvu za Mwenyezi Mungu.
And once again, we get a hold of our political reporter, Elizabeth Mutuko, who has been following the PG at KICC, that is the Jubilee PG, and now joins us live from Parliament buildings to give us the mood in Parliament. Elizabeth.
Well, good afternoon, Linda, Leila, and sorry for the hiccups which happened a few minutes later. I understand in today's meeting, it only lasted for 30 minutes with the President Uhuru Kenyatta chairing the meeting, the no-nonsense meeting, since he is the only person who spoke in that meeting, and Raphael Tuju, the Secretary General, who introduced him, and also President Uhuru Kenyatta warning the Tangatanga guys that his eyes are still on them, and when they continue going against him, he's going to take more tougher measures and actions. And Alela, apart from that, the committees where 16 members were purged out of these committees, the scramble over those committees, it will be happening this Thursday, where CCM and Wiper and other coalitions in the Jubilee now, all these members want to partake the positions which have been left vacant after these members were kicked out. And not only that, according to the members who I spoke to, including Sabina Chege, they told me that these changes were bound to happen because President Uhuru Kenyatta and the BBI and the handshake is what will be coming forth in few days, and he needed people who he could trust much in the changes in the referendum, and that's what he has asserted. And not only that, Linda Alela, I'm told that more members in the Jubilee party who will be not so strong supporting Uhuru Kenyatta, that also the eggs might also come to them. That is what I'll be following to know whether the Kieleweke team and the Tangatanga team are okay with the changes. Though a lot of leaders feel feel that Duale did whatever would have been done in his tenure. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth Mutuku, our reporter down there at the presence of Parliament. Will be updating us more. Of course, as the President has said, we expect so much information to be communicated later. And it's time that we take a short break, and we'll be right back with more news on Newsdeck. Welcome back to Newsdeck. Let's get into more news. The Rwandan Minister of Infrastructure, Claver Gatete, announced that cross-border trade in Rwanda is progressing well despite the measures that have been put in place to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. In 24 hours, Rwanda receives between 400 and 500 cross-border trucks at Rusumo border, the border between Rwanda and Tanzania. Diana Iriza, our correspondent from Rwanda, is joining us live now from Kigali, Rwanda, to give us more details on cross-border trade in Rwanda amidst COVID-19. Diana.
Hi there, Linda Alela. It is nice talking to you today. I hope you're good. So, according to the Ministry of Infrastructure here in Rwanda, the country receives a number of 400 to 500 cross-border trucks here in the country from Rusumo border, that is the border between Rwanda and Tanzania. And it receives a number of 45 to 60 cross-border trucks from borders known as Kajitumba and Chanika. These are borders between Rwanda and Uganda in just 24 hours. So this is a really good sign, and it shows that cross-border trade between Rwanda and the neighboring countries is progressing and doing really well amidst COVID-19. As it is known, In May this year, over 1,000 truck drivers were stuck in a town called Benako at the Tanzanian border. They were protesting against the fact that Rwanda was not letting them in the country and was not letting their products and goods in the country. And they're also protesting against all the preventive measures that were being set up against COVID-19. So the government came up with a solution, and that is they told the truck drivers to offload their goods and offload their products at the border points here in Rwanda, and the Rwandan truck drivers to take over and transport these products to their destination within here in Rwanda. So this was done to prevent the spread of coronavirus from truck drivers coming from neighboring countries. And so far, everything has been going on really well. It has improved cross-border trade between Rwanda and neighboring countries, and has also calmed down the situation and the tension between truck drivers and Rwanda. In June 18th, Rwanda recorded 646 cases of positive COVID-19 cases, and still till today, most of these cases are coming from truck drivers. So it is very unfortunate, but the Ministry of Infrastructure is encouraging these cross-border truck drivers to cooperate and do everything they're being required to do in order to reduce the spread of this virus. But so far, cross-border trade is going really well between Rwanda and its neighboring countries.
Right, thank you so much, Diana Iriza. That's a great report coming all the way from Rwanda. And to more story, and Police Inspector General Hilary Mutyambai took to Twitter today at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to engage the public on a one-on-one discussion on matters affecting the public and the police service. In his inaugural engagement with the public today, Mutyambai answered questions ranging from alleged actions of police brutality to corruption within the police service. David Muthoka has the details.
In his inaugural Twitter chat with Kenyans today, the Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai said the police service is keen on improving its service delivery to Kenyans. This amid the cracks between Kenyans and the police service seemingly widening following recent alleged killings of Kenyans by police officers, notably during curfew hours. However, Mutyambai said police officers found culpable of such killings will continue to face the full force of the law. In his response to an incident in Nakuru County, where a woman was dragged by a police officer on a motorbike and which has since caused a public uproar, Mutyambai added that the culpable officers have since been interdicted. This as the National Police Service intends to improve its professionalism. Mutyambai has further asked Kenyans to remain vigilant and even utilize technology in reporting instances of police brutality. The IG has also said the police service remains on a reshaping phase with new features on the way, among them the national rollout of the digital occurrence book system, paperless payment of fines for minor traffic offenders, as well as equipping police officers with body cameras in a bid to improve accountability in the police service. The live Twitter chat lasted an hour and is set to resume every alternate Monday. David Muthoka, TV47.
Kaya elders have come out to express their disapproval towards the government's decision to establish a dry port in Naivasha. According to the elders, the move will lead to thousands of people losing their livelihoods, thereby crippling the region's economy.
Ikatengenezwe dry port Naivasha. Haya, imeshafanyika hivyo, alafu pia sheria nyingine inatoka hapo ya kwamba uchukuzi wa hizo makontena ambazo utatoka Kilindini utapitia na SGR kwenda huko. Ni kuua mambo mengi sana.
Bandari ni rasilimali ya watu wa pwani, na si rasilimali ya watu wa pwani kupewa na mtu mwingine. Rasilimali ya watu wa pwani kupewa na Mwenyezi Mungu, maana Mwenyezi Mungu alichagua watu wa pwani wawe na bahari. Kwa hivyo kuiondoa, kuipeleka Naivasha kwanza ni jambo ambalo ni kupinga matakwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Now let's get sporty, and Real Madrid returned to the top of La Liga via head-to-head record on Sunday with a 2-1 win over Real Sociedad to go ahead of Barcelona. Captain Sergio Ramos Get more matters news right here on our comprehensive bulletin. My name is Linda Alela. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.